hello. Welcome in. Hello. The Eric Zane Show podcast is now a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from the world famous Impact Powersports studio. We have begun. Blowing right by the 5-year anniversary of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Beginning right here. Thank you so much. The show has never stopped growing, and I'm so thankful for all of you. Appreciate you being here on this live stream or listening to the audio podcast or whatever it may be. I am eternally grateful to be able to sit here and hang out, take care of the dogs, take care of my brother-in-law, and chit-chat with you, still have my fun, have my creative outlet, if you will, and we can enjoy each other. Ben Glaze already checking in. Ben Glaze checking in during the X's and Bros show. Be careful. Don't hit the wrong button and put this show on the air with Anthony Bellino. Which, by the way, I was given a tip about a new record. Ben on the Friday show of X's and Bros, he said 4 words. And this is not on Ben. We have decided as a show, both myself and the audience, that Ben has no culpability with the awkward fest that starts every one of those shows. Show starts at 6, and Anthony, running the show, he goes to this long laundry list of how you can reach out to them. You can send something on Instagram, call us, send me an email, stuff that's similar to what I do. And then he chats with Ryan Elke. Well, he says hello to Ryan Elke and Ben Glaze. He says, you can reach Ryan here on Twitter and the Ben Glaze. And gentlemen, how are you? And poor Ryan doesn't have a mic. He's never had a mic. But he says, gentlemen, how are you? Now, if you ask somebody, how are you, you would expect an answer. Ben answers, I'm good, or I'm well. And then Anthony starts talking. And then after about 30, 40 seconds of talking, he just stops. You just assume he's done talking to Ben. There's never any moment where he says, well, Ben, glad you're here. Let's get to it. Here we go. And then start talking about sports. Ben has to reluctantly turn off his microphone in hopes that he doesn't go to him again. I had a fantastic interaction on Friday that was sent to me from the world-famous X's and Bros show. Chris said, Ben said a new record, 4 words, and then that was it. Well, I've taken that audio, and I have created something fantastic to be played on the upcoming edition of the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, which I'm assuming we will go on Thursday today, or this week. I've got hockey Wednesday. I've got hockey Friday. And I've got hockey. Yes, Ben, if you're watching, the goal would be Thursday to host the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. With, before that, another world-renowned episode of Who Are These Free Beers? So you're going to have to review some audio from the world-famous Free Beer and Hot Wing show and clip it for us to have fun on another rousing Big Fraud Thursday. All right. Now, I talked about, being here at the house for the last 5 years. It's kind of probably the best example of making lemonade. And here's why. Excuse me. First of all, I started podcasting January 6, 2019. And then more than 1 year passed. And then the world went crazy with the pandemic. And everybody had to stay home from work. Well, I had already been staying home from work. So that was no big deal. I'm not going to lie. Other than COVID claiming the life of my mother, which is obviously the worst thing possible. Personally, it didn't, outside of that horrible thing, there wasn't a lot that happened. Then, at some point during all of that, I think it was July. It was like after COVID because COVID, we shut down, we locked down in March of 20. And then in July of 20, Diana's brother Dave passed away suddenly. So that means we get the NFK. Now, it's perfect because the NFK needs some type of, not exactly like firsthand type of care, but he does need some care. There's no question. And me being here, that happens. And also, being here a lot, I can have this type of involvement with because of his sister, my wife, being very active in his medical care. I'm telling you, it has saved his life. So I'm looking at all the silver lining things that have happened. One of the other things that has happened is by default, I am the go-to for, it's kind of like I'm working with my wife to improve the health of this man. Because he was like you ever see those Facebook or Instagram videos where somebody finds like an old house and they fix it up, or an old beat up car and they flip it? That's what we're doing with the NFK. Too many medical things to go into. But one of the things, and I'm going to warn you right now, what I'm about to talk about now is gross. Okay? So you have the option. I'm giving you fair warning. Now, this is not gross on a level of the most legendary story that I've ever been involved in, the Gary from the Men's Warehouse incident. But it is gross. It's up there. It's not as bad as Gary, but it's close. So I'm explaining this to you so that if you want to cash out for fair amount of time, I imagine this will be about 8 to 10 minutes, maybe less, and then come back. That's cool. Because some of this story, I can't couch shit on this show. It's too difficult. I just let it fly. Or if you're listening to the audio podcast, I hit that bump ahead button several times, several times, and then listen and hear if I'm discussing my brother-in-law's feet. And if I'm still talking about his feet and you hear various words that clue you into something gross, just keep hitting it. Keep hitting that thing. Okay, because, sometimes we have gross stories. Now, there was a period of time in life here at the house that after my brother's neck surgery where I actually had to bathe him. But that turned out to be a great thing because part of the bathing, now I'm wearing gloves when I do it, these, blue surgical gloves. I also was working very hard to take care of his feet, which for some reason he gets an unbelievable amount of callus on the feet. Don't know why. Don't know if it's his body chemistry or what's going on. But he's got little teeny tiny footsies. He's the little guy. In fact, his younger brother used to call him Little One because he's so damn little. He's in between my height. He's shorter than me, but taller than Diana. So over the years as he's aged, this is the most gnarly foot. I think he's actually getting taller because of the amount of callus that is building up on the foot. All right. And early on, we went to like a podiatrist, and the podiatrist was like, "What the fuck?" We've never seen anything like this. There was one of those holy shit moments. And she recommended this medicine, and then, okay, that was that. But as I was helping the NFK months later, I actually had to shower the guy. Okay, great, no big deal. But then I decided I'm going to take care of the foot. So what you do is you buy one of these things that has like, on one side is the cheese grater, the other side is the stone, the third side is the sanding paper type of thing, and the fourth side, it's like 2-2. It's a double-ended brush. It's a double-ended device with a brush, so you can get everything up with this one thing. And I'm getting like fucking good with it. So after the shower, I do it all. I grate, and I have to do it over the garbage. There's so much foot growth that, it's just falling off. It's incredible. And then I'm also taking care of the nails. So talk about Pooh Bear points here. And his feet were pristine. I was very proud of the foot. Now, some of you may ask, was I turned on by his feet? No. I love feet, but only the right feet. These are not the right feet. Okay? There's a certain shape of the foot. And first of all, it's got to be on a chick. Okay? As you all know, I'm a little gay, but when it comes to dude feet, no, I'm not. That's just not me. So that went on. Then there came a day when the NFK said, I'm going back to showering on my own. Which, considering where we came from with 0 showers, that's great. But then we kind of got out of the habit of taking care of the feet because he's taking his own shower. Well, as luck would have it, I know it's a long way for this story, and it's a lot of foot talk, but it's important. Recently, I was talking to you about how last week my wife stepped out of the back door into the garage and stepped on a shoe and fucking hurt her foot. She's almost all better now. We were gone for like 36 hours to visit my dad over the weekend. And my stepdad, Wally. That went great, by the way. Well, we come back in yesterday, and we're no sooner in the house for like 3 seconds, and he goes, I fucking did what you did. And we're like, okay. Oh, uh-huh. I fucking stepped outside there and in the garage, and then boom, next thing I know, so he fucking freaking out, swearing. He rolls his ankle somehow. So his foot is resting on a little footstool, and she goes, oh my God, is it black and blue? And he says, check it out. So Diana, I'm watching this unfold. And again, this has been a while since I've been up close and personal with his feet to take care of them. Well, all of that work is out the window because she pulled his sock off, and the amount of skin flake that flew into the air off of the foot and onto the footstool. It was like a fucking powdered donut. You would not believe it. And it's gnarly as fuck. Black and blue from the injury, and then the callus is just fucking through the roof. And then the nails are so long, they've extended off of the foot and now curled under. And if they keep growing, they're going to grow into the foot. So I only know that because I had to get up close and personal with him again. And she comes up to me a minute later. She goes, you have to get to work. You have to take care of the feet. And I'm like, fuck that. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. I'm not doing that. Deep down, I know I'm going to have to. Somebody has to do this. If I don't do this, this is going to be a problem. While I'm at Meijer, I get a ankle brace for him. And I give it to him to put on his injured foot. And then he's fucking with it for like 10 minutes. He can't do it. If you don't know, he's got fucking neurological damage on his hands. His hands don't work like yours and mine. He asks me to help him. I go, absolutely. I take off the sock, and then I see what's happened. Before it was from afar when I saw it, but now I'm right there, and I go, okay. Then I commit. Then I like, while I'm here, let me go to work on these feet. They need a little TLC. So I get my tools of the trade. I put my gloves on. I got my 4-way sander. I got my clippers. And okay, so they're fucked. Now, not only do his nails grow long, but they grow thick like a goddamn Big Mac because he has toenail fungus. And that's what happens. So you wouldn't believe the strain that these giant toenail clippers were under. I thought it was going to break the hinge to pulverize these crunchy toe nuggets. Ugh. But I got that done. Then I go to sand the cheese off the bottom of the foot, and there's so much callus, it doesn't work. It's defeated it. You have to put this medicine that I have on it to like soften it up, and that takes a couple days. So literally, I had to put it on and then put the brace on and then the sock over that to let it kind of marinate. So basically, foot callus chunk has to marinate before I can grind it off. That was my Sunday. I told you it was going to be gross. I warned you about that. Oh, my God. Ashley says, good Lord, this is rough. Kelly Cheese Palate Cleanser, she says. Hurricane Ashley says, BFC, would you be willing to do this for your pal, Hurricane Ashley? No, I cannot. This time, I do know a lot about foot care. But I can't do that. I can only do it for immediate family members. Now, I will say this. Months ago, when I was in charge of the feet on the NFK, again, they were immaculate, except for the fungus, the toenail fungus. Now, he can't do anything about the toenail fungus because he's got cirrhosis. And that medicine that heals the toenail fungus, it can affect the liver. So he can't take it. So basically, he's screwed, but no big deal. So that was my day yesterday. And as I'm now Diana's seeing this. Okay. Now when I take care of his feet, I am so desensitized to it that it doesn't bother me at all. I have developed, what do you call it? The type of skills that like a person who does home care for the elderly has developed with that type of, not shying away from anything because I've done this. And I am glass half fulling this silver lining to be able to do that. Outside of wiping his asshole, I have seen it all. I've had to wash his asshole, but I've not wiped his asshole. I think I would actually do okay with that. So I'm ready. I am ready for what the future is going to hold for me. That was an unbelievable Sunday. My God. Let's see. NFK is the real life This Old House, says Megan. We got a couple of people commenting on, I guess there is yet another person that has been brought into the Free Beer and Hot Wings show. Bold prediction for 2024. Our pals on Free Beer and Hot Wings are going to be fired. Now, this is even more bold than my prediction, which came true, that I said Joe would be fired. This prediction I am making because that show now is well over $500,000 a year. With all of the moving parts and all the paychecks that go out to everybody. Right now, Grand Rapids Morning Radio has a budget of about $70,000 a year, maybe. That's how bad the radio state is right now, and it is not going to get better. Regardless of how many radio stations they spread that salary out on in town square media. The bubble is going to burst this year with our old pals, Free Beer and Hot Wings. So whoever just got hired at the entry-level phone screener position, good for you. Absorb all you can, and congratulations. I think that person is used to bone Amanda. The person that they just hired used to have sex with Amanda regularly. I think that's what she described it as. Or maybe it was her daughter. Or her daughter had sex with that guy's brother. Something like that. Nick, the electrician, says shaving that Parmesan. Ryan says it's amazing. If you can tolerate all of this big fraud, Zane, you missed your calling in the retirement home assisted living industry. Linda says, quote unquote, showering on my own, the NFK, running the water to make people think I'm showering. Green faces from Patrick. Ryan writes, good God, man. Then he says, the theater of the mind on this show is at its best right now. Yeah, if I can say something and then you can see it in your brain, and then while you're driving to work or you're at home or whatever, you're listening later, you're going, oh, my God. It's because you can see what I'm describing to you. I am putting shit in your brain. There is no one better at this than me. Callus tenderizing tips from EZ. Is foot nail fungus contagious? Yes. Can you get it from touching it or from looking at it? No. Touching it? Yes. Ashley describes it as non-athlete's foot. My God. All right. So he's limping around like a fucking wounded soldier. And today it's back to the grind, literally grind, where after the foot is marinated for the day, we got to do some cheese scraping. I will keep you updated on that. I can't actually shoot video of it because it's just a little too much. I'm just going to have to describe this shit to you. I will always put the disclaimer out when talking about this fucking foot issue. This is a very real problem. My point in bringing this up was not to gross you out, because while I was seated there doing this on the business end of his feet, taking care of him, the Queen of the Forest sat there. She watched me take care of her brother. I think there's a blowjob in the near future. I think I've earned something to some degree. A lot of Pooh Bear points. The bucket is full because I took care of her brother. The Detroit Lions win yesterday. Not exactly a meaningless game, because if they won and Dallas lost, that would improve their standing, like their seeding, I guess. But it may have been not a great idea to run all the good players, and it turns out it didn't matter. They still got the 3rd seed because the Dallas Cowboys won. But one of their best players was injured. He had a wonky knee issue. What's his name? Ben Laporta? Matt Laporta? Leo Laporta? Sam. He did a little wonky knee. He did the stanky leg. This wasn't great. Hang on a second. This mouse just puked on me. Son of a bitch. So this guy is arguably one of the best tight ends in the whole league. Meaningless play, 5-yard reception, and something terrible happens. Let's watch it.
Out in the Panthers and Bucks game, we have an injury to Sam Laporta. On this play, you'll see him grab at his left leg. I think we've got a replay from this angle. One more angle, I believe,
right.
is the
This is the angle.
You can see his left.
Look at that. Ow! Ouch. Now, I don't think that's totally wonkified.
Leg kind of sticks in the turf and bends backwards.
But it was close.
Won't do it. And Dan Campbell chose to play his guys to get that number 2 seed. And this is the risk. A guy like Sam Laporta, Jared Goff.
Okay.
Out in the.
So that is that's not great. There's they say he's going to, quote, miss some time. So I would be very surprised. I mean, I don't know anything, but I would be very surprised that if he will play against the Rams. That's right. The Rams will come to Detroit for a Saturday night game. 8:15 kickoff. Wild card weekend. 6 games. 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. I will not be watching the Lions game on Saturday. Maybe the end of it, because it starts at 8:15. And I've got hockey that starts at 7. So I think I'll be able to get the back end of the game when I get home. Ryan says the first playoff game in 30 years in Detroit. Is that right? Yeah, actually. Well, yeah, that's exactly right. And the first one at Ford Field. I'm not comfortable with any of this. I might be better off just not watching it. The ideal thing would be if, like, I get home from the hockey game and it's 35-0 Detroit. And the reason why it's just the anxiety level is just so through the roof for me. I don't know if I can do it, because part of me is just saying that this is going to be a crushing defeat in true Lions fashion. Patrick says, if I were the Lions, I would rather play the Eagles or the Packers. The Rams went 7-1 down the stretch. Oh, fuck. Yeah, frankly, I'm not, I don't feel good about any of the other teams. The Packers beat the shit out of the Lions on Thanksgiving, and their quarterback, Jordan Love, started out the year shaky and finished it like a fucking boss. The Eagles, I hate the Lions taking on a player. I mean, Jalen Hurts is an absolute beast. I don't give a shit how weird they played in the back half of the year. He's as soon as he takes on the Lions, he'll have a great fucking game. And Linda just pointed out that Matthew Stafford did not play yesterday. He rested. God damn. Chris in Buffalo says, go Bills. They impressively beat Miami, and they won the division. They are a number 2 seed this year. They had a strong back half of the year. That's great for the Bills. I'm happy for them and for Bills fans. If the Lions were to play the Bills in the Super Bowl, either way, it's absolutely fantastic. But that game coming up on Saturday night, and I am very much worried. Very much worried. Lions and the Rams. It is at this point in the show that we will probably bring out Joe Martinez. And that is unfortunate because that means the chat is going to be dominated with stupid things like we bow to no one, except he's going to spell no, K-N-O-W. And he's going to write bust them nuts and other hail Michigan or whatever the fuck stupid Michigan fans do. Today is the day. The national championship, Washington, Michigan. This is the last opportunity to shut these asshole Wolverine fans up. I've had it with the arrogance. I've had it with all of that shit. If it weren't for those fans, I would be rooting for that team. 2 things I can't stand. Harbaugh and Michigan fan. So annoying. I don't know who's more annoying. Harbaugh or the fans. It's a toss-up. I guess it depends on the day. By the way, I think Paul Feinbaum suggested that Harbaugh has autism. And I saw everybody losing their shit about that, all butthurt. And it's like, well, of course he does. He absolutely has autism. Or at least something on the spectrum. And I don't know why everybody makes that like a bad thing. Why is that an insult? That's not an insult. Autism is a superpower. I'm hoping I catch it because everybody who has autism, they're always the most creative people on the planet. They do amazing shit. I'm telling you, that is the evolution of the human form, autism. It's a goddamn gift to some. Others, it manifests in debilitating ways that, you were like, God damn it, life sure is hard. But holy fuck. Yeah, Harbaugh definitely has autism. He's full of it. He's full of the tism. Ken says Paul Feinbaum has a hard-on for anything anti-Michigan in the Big Ten. Joe Martinez says, can't be a Michigan fan, didn't go to that school, or I wasn't born into it. I don't know what you're talking about. Half the time when Joe contributes on the chat, I have to decipher it. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Linda says he's full of shit, too. I don't know who you're talking about. Kenny is, he busted out a little bit of the Kenny show here. He says Derrick Henry probably played his last game for the Titans yesterday, too. That sucks. Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, I kind of do. These running backs, once they hit 30, 9 times out of 10, they're shit. They're broken down. They've had it. So he'll probably be playing football elsewhere and probably be pretty good for at least 2 or 3 years. He actually made a long speech. He grabbed the microphone and thanked everybody. All right. So that's happening tonight. I am excited about that game. That one I will actually watch. It's the Lions game that freaks me out. That I'm just like, God damn it. I mean, like if I didn't have a hockey game, that would be the type of game where if they started off slowly with a shaky start, I'd have to leave the house and go for a walk. To me, the worst feeling in the world is a Lions game, a regular season game, which they're just getting the fuck kicked out of them. Like there was a few of those this year. There was the Green Bay game. They got the shit kicked out of them. There was the Baltimore game. They got the shit kicked out of them. Those two in particular. And the Chicago game was horrible too. Those 3 stand out as the ones like, fuck this. I'm gone. The Seattle game was an overtime game. And then the Dallas game, we all know what happened there. That was I actually enjoyed watching that one. But I am definitely feeling uneasy about the Lions this weekend. For those of you that are enjoying this show on Facebook, X, and YouTube, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to cut you loose, though. If you want the rest of the show, you got to download the Twitch app on your phone. Twitch is what you find in the App Store, and then search Eric Zane Live. You will find me there. You can check out the rest of the show anytime you want. All the videos are on demand, and that way you can get the show without interruption. Follow me on that. Subscribe on that by linking up your Amazon Prime, and you get no commercials from Amazon because Twitch is owned by Amazon. I have an audio podcast. This all becomes the audio podcast. Shortly after it finishes, I upload it. Check it out on all of the spots where you download podcasts, including Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review to that. And then finally, the Patreon, which is an entirely different platform. 0 sponsors. It is powered only by you. It is subscription-based, $5 or $10 a month. You can try it for free for 7 days. If you have not ever done this, you are only allowed to do it once. Sign up at patreon.com/Eric Zane. Put in a payment form, and you will get 7 days free. You can cancel it right after you sign up, and you still get the 7 days. That's the beauty of it. I just want you to try it, and I think that you will like it. Included is the latest edition of the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, where we reviewed Jimmy in Portland, Maine's film that he did with his cousin Paul, The Harwich Tale. And it is one of my favorite things that we've ever done. Jimmy, for some reason, gets like a creative bug, and he and Paul make movies. And this one was another horror movie that he made. Jimmy is actually a Hollywood makeup expert. I'm not even kidding you. He's worked in that industry in the past, and he knows what the hell he's doing. And so his ability to make masks and makeup work is on display in these films. And that's about the only thing that is professional. Everything about it is a huge pile of shit, and we make fun of it and have a great time in the Director's Cut edition with Jimmy and Ben and Eric on the latest edition of the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. All right, so thank you for checking out the show on Facebook, X,